Coming up next right here only on the Fortminorproject channel, that's why I will be reviewing Elimination Chamber of this year, Elimination Chamber 2015. Review, thoughts, and opinions coming up right now. You know what's coming up next. Roll that damn intro.
Inside me, a light was turned on. Then I was alive. If you close your eyes, your life, a naked truth revealed. Dreams you never lived and scars never healed. In the darkness, light will take you to the other side. And find me waiting there, you'll see if you just close your eyes.
Alright, so there you have it. Elimination Chamber 2015 is in the record books, and starting things off with the kickoff, aka the pre-show, and we did have a bonus match where we had Stardust and as well in the end facing off Zack Ryder, and basically it was a pretty good matchup between the two. Stardust eventually did get the win, and it's going to be interesting to see where things are going to go for Stardust. Now that I'm hearing that he's looking to call out Arrow, that's going to be interesting. I'm hearing rumors now that might be a SummerSlam possible matchup, or probably just a regular old meeting between the two or something like that, like a face-off. Which, in all honesty, since I am a fan of Arrow, I know Chris, Boston Fan 79, and as well our friend Morgan too as well, and a couple of others that I do know who do watch Arrow. So I'm interested to hear you guys' thoughts on this too. How do you feel about this whole Arrow and Stardust altercation going on here? What do you see coming out of SummerSlam? It should be actually pretty fun. I'm actually wishing that I was able to get tickets to go to SummerSlam. I would have loved to. Hopefully they'll stick around for a while too. With SummerSlam being in New York, I'm not too sure if it's only for this year, and then SummerSlam will be going back to other cities or whatever have you. So, and it probably won't be like how it was in SummerSlam being in LA, basically. So, we'll see what happens with that. So, overall, a pretty good match to start things off, just to get things going for Elimination Chamber. Next up, of course, we had the Miz TV basically having an interview with Daniel Bryan, and basically saying that if he didn't stick with the Miz and everything, and the Miz basically issuing out and saying that Daniel Bryan would have been a lot more better, and then not only that, he would have been not nearly injured as much, and actually having him basically join him. But in the end, Daniel Bryan stating that he will be back and looking to be able to watch the IC Championship matchup as well, and present the Intercontinental Championship as well. Most likely facing the winner of that match, whoever's still going to be IC Champion at the time too, depending on what's going on with that too, of course. So really great stuff there as well. In the end, we actually had Curtis Axel and as well Damian Sandow as the Mega Powers, basically. Of course, Damian Sandow as Macho Man, and Curtis Axel of Hulk Hogan, and basically getting the beat down on the Miz, and laying it out too as well, and coming to the aid, if you will, of Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan actually wanting that to happen as well. And just a little point proving there that Daniel Bryan is going to be ready once he is able to be well rested up, and hopefully have a speedy recovery too with his injury, and hopefully we won't have to see that again too, once he does come back, and everything will be fine and better. So I wish Daniel Bryan nothing but the best, and hopefully we'll see him back and better than ever. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we have the main card, which was a great match to start things off with the tag team elimination chamber match, where we had Los Matadors in this one, the primetime players, as well the New Day, all of the New Day actually, as well the Ascension, Sin Cara, and Kalisto, all in this one, and the primetime players actually really coming close to becoming the new tag team champions, which I thought actually was going to happen, or Sin Cara and Kalisto. And really cool spots in this one, especially Kalisto, and as well El Torito actually climbing up to the top of the Elimination Chamber, kind of like in the Ultimate X match for TNA. I kind of got that vibe out of it too. with that spot. So that was actually pretty insane. So really nice way to start things off. And the New Day, in the end, retained the tag team champions. Xavier Woods was able to help out. Big E and Kofi Kingston get the win. So the New Day is still looking to be tag team champions for a while. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully they'll be able to bring this back again because this is really awesome and really dope and awesome stuff. Like I said, so we'll see what happens there. Then with the next match where we had the Divas Championship on the line and the triple threat match where we had Nikki Bella and as well Naomi and the returning Paige. And for what it was worth, it was a good match and I was surprised that we didn't get a new champion, which I thought we should have. And Nikki Bella has been champion actually since Survivor Series and that's a pretty long time, especially too for her as well. I was hoping at least Naomi or Paige would be able to get the win and retain uh, the Divas Championship did get to retain, so we did get to see that. But yeah, so with that being said, hopefully, I'm sure within this year, Naomi will get a chance to be Divas Champion. And unfortunately, uh, tonight wasn't the night, and there you have it with that. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure we'll see more of the rivalry continuing to now for Naomi and Paige, and I'm sure most likely somewhat of a rematch, which I don't really see happening as a triple threat rematch. But we'll see other things playing out. Either with Paige and Naomi and stuff like that, and Naomi and Nikki, or just reversing it that way. There's other ways that they can really do it. But we'll see what happens with that. So there you have it. Nikki Bella retaining the Divas title. Then with the next match where we had champion versus champion John Cena versus Kevin Owens, and I gotta say it was a really great match. And even though it wasn't for any other titles, which is actually cool, and this was a physical war, basically these two going into the war zone and having a flat out awesome singles match and one of my favorite matches of the year too as well with the counters that they did have, especially with finisher after finisher and all of that stuff. In the end, Kevin Owens was able to get the win, the NXT champion, defeating the United States champion, and really cool stuff. So looking forward to see what else Kevin Owens has to offer. So there you go, heel Steven. I know that's your boy and everything. So Kevin Owens with a huge win, really awesome. So there you go. Then from there, we move on to a match that we've seen basically on WWE NXT for the NXT Championship, basically last year, if you will, between Bo Dallas and as well with Neville. And this time, Bo Dallas was looking to basically right his wrong, and after losing the NXT Championship and basically being banned from NXT. And with that being said, he didn't get the job done and got a red arrow by Neville. So pretty good match for what it was, and pretty interesting to see where Neville is going to be going here from here on in. Maybe a mid-card championship, that would be pretty cool, and maybe go after the tag titles. And I wouldn't mind him being in the tag team with somebody. But with that being said, we'll see what happens with that. So Neville doing really big things. So cool that Neville was able to get the win. So there you go there. Then next up where we have the Intercontinental Championship, which is on the line, and of course guaranteed a new IC champion. And with that too, earlier in the night, we were able to have a report where Rusev was basically injured, and he was able to get that injury too during SmackDown this past week. So we did have a replacement in the returning Mark Henry. So Mark Henry was able to return, be a part of the match with Ryback, with Sheamus, with Bandys Barrett, and as well Dolph Ziggler and R-Truth. So with that, it was a pretty good match. They had some interesting spots, and after a while too, Sheamus for a little bit wasn't able to enter the ring, and since his pod was basically locked and his door wouldn't open, it was kind of weird. I was hoping it wouldn't last throughout the whole rest of the match and everything. So with that being said, we do have a new IC champion this time in Ryback. Ryback winning his first ever championship in the IC championship, and being it said now that Yabari was able to present the IC champion in Ryback. So there you go. So interesting there. Cool that Ryback is able to be a champion now with the Intercontinental Championship, and we'll see what happens from here. then with the next match where we had the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, which was a great match here. Interesting spots here between the two, and at one point the referee was laid out too, as well by a top rope move by Dean Ambrose, which is sick as hell. And then we also saw J&J Security, we had Jamie Noble as well, Jerry Mercury, of course Kane out there as always as well basically. And in the end, we did have Dean Ambrose did get the win, but it was with disqualification. So at one point where it seemed like Dean Ambrose actually got the championship, which kind of sucks, but unfortunately it didn't go the way as planned. And even though it was a DQ win, Dean Ambrose did not get the title, and Seth Rollins retained the title basically. So I was working out literally, and I know a good friend of mine, Kristen, was, and I'm sure she is still kind of a little bit marking out too as well. Which I was hoping Dean Ambrose would get the title, but he did, but it really didn't. So I'm sure, hopefully, maybe sometime this year, maybe Dean Ambrose will get the title. So Seth Rollins is still the champion, and as well Roman Reigns being able to get the save too as well, and helping out Dean Ambrose after the beatdown that we did get to see too by Jamie Noble and as well Jerry Mercury. So we'll see what happens with that, and there you have it with WWE Elimination Chamber 2015 pay-per-view review, thoughts and opinions. Of course, leave me your thoughts down below, what you like and what you didn't like, and what you thought should have been differently. All that good stuff. Leave your comments down below in the comment box. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and feedback as always.